Hello and welcome. This is Kevin, also known as AWOL, and today we are going to heavily mod this pattern. This pattern is number 71611 over on friendshipbracelets.net. And there's only a part of it I like, and we'll kind of talk about that, and we'll talk about the parts I don't like as we make it. So I'm copying this, and I'm going to paste it over here, and then I'm going to get this rotation tool, and I'm going to rotate it by 90 degrees. And then this one, what do they even call this? The scale tool. I always forget that. The scale tool. And then kind of give this little box over here a little tug, which brings it up to size. And yeah. And then we're going to add that to a new layer and just kind of shove it off to the side over here. So the part of this that I like is this thing that's going on down the middle, this sort of zigzag thing. I think that's really, really cool. I like how it's outlined in the black, and I like how the black has this other little line thing going here that puts a spot on it. The parts I don't like is I never cared for when you have just a straight row along the edge. It's harder to do. It's not particularly nice. I don't know. I have no love for that. So let's see. I think if we're going to try to line it up with that, I think I actually have to move this down one to here. Let me make sure I got that right in the middle. There we go. Because it looks to me like there was a square out here and then a square in, okay, so now I need something to represent the black. Because obviously if I try to do some kind of painting thing or whatever, it could affect my other black line. So I'm going to use this dark blue, and it looks to me like it starts, whoops. You have to go to the layer you're working on, otherwise you're going to notice the paint thing doesn't work. All right, so I think it starts there and there. And then this little thing is just here. So this row comes all the way up to here. This row comes to there. Right? Is that? Oh, we might have. Hmm. Maybe I'm taking these out too far? Maybe it only goes to there. Because then, yeah, these would both be in a straight line. I'm not sure. Hang on. Let's count how many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh yeah, so this went out too far. All right, so I got to back a bunch of stuff up. So it only goes out to there. So let's set up some guidelines to make it easier to see where it stops. Like that. See how much easier just tossing in. I don't know if you can actually see them. It's kind of a zoom in here. See these guidelines? Really just makes that a whole lot easier. I was kind of thinking it went out further, but nope. And I've already think I've come up with an idea. Like I said, I didn't care for what was, and I don't even get like why the two sides aren't basically symmetrical and why like the color that's here comes out and does like a little X thing. Like there's so much of this that kind of doesn't make any sense at all to me. So yeah, we're just gonna kind of wing it. So that would have gone there. That means this one would have turned. Oh, so this would have come here. I was wondering like what was going to happen because of this piece here, and I just answered that. So there we go. So this is really close to the whole idea of me making my own pattern. I mean, I'm only using a small part. so, um, so let's do something to represent white. We'll use a gray. Again, I'm only using colors to just kind of represent what I think I'm going to try to do with this. Like, well, I'm using colors that are a good contrast so you can see what's kind of going on, and that way you can go and use whatever you want, essentially. Right? Now, at this point, I need two more colors. Because over here they use three, right? So we already have two, but I'm going to go with two more colors. So nice contrast, we're going to use a red. Oops. So you can already see what my intention is. And I'm pretty confident we can pull this off. It's the little trick that I'm going to try to do with it that'll become a little bit more questionable. We'll see here in a minute. Hang on. Okay, so there's that side. Now I need one more color. I guess that's a good contrast. Mind you, I have no idea what colors I'll actually use in the actual bracelet itself. Because I could definitely see the whole black and white thing being kind of fun, having it down the middle, and then maybe a pink and a red, or maybe I don't know, maybe a blue and an orange. Blue and orange is a great contrast, and then having the black and white and stuff, that would look pretty cool. Okay, so now here comes what I want to try to do. I want to put a pink over there, and I want to put a red on this side. And that is going to kind of up the whole skill level on this thing. So we'll see how this goes. All right, so out the gate, it looks like we just have one of these white strands. So this is like the easiest one to figure out. The next obvious easy one to figure out will be the blue strands. I'm pretty sure that there are just 3 of those. So basically that means that the black and white will actually take up 4 out of the 16 strands. So there's 8 on either side. So this is, if you're looking for the graph paper over on my website, akaawol.com, it will be the 8 string. And I've just got this all worked out to be the right size to work from. So, so that's a blue, that's a blue. And I guess this one. So the black and whites are obviously going to get used an awful lot more than anything else. It's just a fact. So yeah, when you're cutting your strings, just kind of be aware that you're going to use a lot, because like this outer one here, it just keeps going, and the same with the white one as well. So I can kind of work out all 3 of these as we come down, just because it's sort of obvious. So this is going to be a little bit advanced. That's not too crazy, intermediate, but there's a whole trick to keeping the pinks on the one side and the reds on the other side. So, and that trick basically is you're going to use left, right, and right, left knots in order to keep them bouncing over to where they need to be. So. I've made a pattern a little bit like this before, where there was some kind of like a zigzag down the middle, but it didn't have these little bump outs with the other color in it. And I think that's what attracted me to this, was like, oh, that's kind of neat, you know, having that little extra thing with a dot in there is sort of cool. But I didn't really like the rest of it, so you know, there you go. Wow. Okay. You would assume that all the rest of the strings are the colors that, like this. Right? So this one will come in and bounce back this way. This one bounced over this way. This one can go through and come back this way. Yeah, so this actually turns out to be not that difficult to fill in. I thought there might be some problems with trying to figure out, you know, where things zigzag or what they do. No. No, this is kind of straightforward. This one obviously is going to go to the red and bounce back. So design wise, oops, not too terrible. Zoom in a little bit more just to make it easier to paint. Yep, see, this is the other where it comes in and through. Yeah, so we're ending up with something completely different. And I'm okay with that. I think in bracelet design, finding parts that you like and work like basically working with that, and kind of omitting the parts that you don't care for, I think that's part of the whole fun of it. So, and being able to show you guys how to be able to do that, I think is rewarding. I think this is a good idea. Like, um, maybe somebody out there sees this video and realizes, hey, I can, oops, I can try something different and make something completely unique and fun. And who knows, maybe you upload it to the one of the websites because your pattern is different from anything else they have. I kind of feel like this pattern here, it seems to me like it's so kind of random that maybe that's the point of it, was that they wanted to be able to submit a pattern, and instead of having it be something that's, you know, interesting or symmetrical or, you know, whatever, this is how they did it, was to make it so bizarre that there's kind of nothing else like it out there, which I guess is sort of a thing, but it's kind of not my thing, if you know what I mean. Okay, so now we know that all of the pink are taken care of, all the blues taken care of, all the whites taken care of. Only thing left is the red. So to make that go fast, and this is the whole reason we don't do the black, is now we can take the select by color tool. We can click on this. We can get our paint tool, select our red, and then we can go to fill whole selection. And that will let us go into the area that we've highlighted, and it fills it all in for us. How quick. And mind you, it hits the whole other side of this as well, but that's okay. I need to always remember to put it back to fill similar areas, because otherwise it always messes me up. So, all right, now I'm going to copy the top half. So Control C, Control V. I now have a new floating layer there that looks exactly like the top. Use the flip tool to flip vertically. And slide that on down here. There we go. And there is our bracelet. Wow. So yeah, it's much different. But I like the fact that the pink ends up on the red side and the red ends up on the pink side. And I think that makes it kind of fun. And I love the whole zigzag running down through it. Yeah, I mean, let me know what you think. Tell me in the comments if this was this is something you want to try. Before I go, I do want to thank my Patreon supporters for making these possible. I enjoy making tutorials, and I need their help to get that done. So thank you very much, guys. And thank you for hanging out this long. I really do appreciate that as well. And as always, don't get your strings in a bunch.